The werewolf is one of our oldest and most gruesome monster stories. At the full moon, a person transforms into a bloodthirsty beast, stalking its victims, then ripping them apart with razor-sharp teeth and claws.
The next morning, the individual awakens and they've returned to their true human self, with no memory of what transpired the night before.
The werewolf exists in an interesting place culturally. Nobody goes out hunting for werewolves the way people go ghost hunting. But it's an incredibly familiar type of folk character, and we see it often in films, in books, in comic books, usually in sort of a real over-the-top kind of way.
But this legend remains deeply ingrained in cultures across the globe. The question is why?
The Epic of Gilgamesh is the oldest form of literature that exists, and it includes a werewolf story. When the goddess Ishtar transforms a former lover into a wolf and then allows him to be torn apart by his own sheepdogs.
Hundreds of years later, we get another legend, this one from ancient Greece. This is the story of King Lycaon, a Greek king who tries to challenge the authority of Zeus. He does so by trying to trick the king of the gods into eating a stew that contains human flesh.
So Zeus sees this, because he is all-powerful, and he goes, if you're gonna act like a beast, then I'm gonna turn you into a beast. And then in front of all of his guests, he begins to radically transform into a wolf.
These early stories are just that, stories. Now, it's possible that, like all myths, there may be some basis in fact, but we don't have any of that evidence. For evidence of actual werewolves, we need to go a little bit forward in time, to medieval France.
In 1764, Gevaudan is a quiet, remote province in southern France, 380 miles south of Paris. It's not a place known for generating much news.
Overall, a very quiet, very peaceful place to live until 1764, when suddenly some really frightening stuff starts happening. So the first incident that takes place is in the summer. A teenaged shepherd is out with her flock of grazing cattle when a monstrous wolf bursts out of the brush at her. Now, her bulls actually protect her. They charge this animal, they fend it off, and she goes back into town with reports of this enormous creature.
What she describes is unlike any natural phenomenon. She describes a wolf-like creature but the size of a calf, with a red coat of fur and fangs and fiery red eyes. And then she utters a phrase that stokes fears among the locals. Like a wolf, yet not a wolf. Just weeks later, we have another attack on another young girl. With her dying breath, she describes the creature that attacked her. Wolf-like, but different, with huge fangs, more teeth than a regular wolf would have, and walking on its hind legs like a man.
And then they find a young shepherd boy who's dead in the hills, and now people are starting to think there's something going on here. We have a bigger problem than just wolves.
Even though the attacks are largely taking place in daylight, locals believe they're being perpetrated by a loup-garou, a werewolf. They begin to call it the Beast of Gevaudan, and the killings are just getting started.
What follows are attacks on more victims, individuals out tending to their flocks. Many of them are children, and many of them are discovered not only dead, but mutilated, partially eaten.
The Beast of Gevaudan will go on to be the most compelling werewolf case ever.
In the 1860s, a conflict began in the American Southwest between the Navajo and Ute nations. The Ute had allied themselves with the American military against the Navajo, and the Navajo were angry about this and decided to have their revenge.
As retaliation, the Navajo are said to unleash a terrifying curse upon the Ute people in their ancestral homeland, what is now present-day Utah. And that curse comes in the form of a monster, the Skinwalker.
According to Native American lore, Skinwalkers were a type of witch that could transform into an animal, specifically a wolf. and they did so using magic and the pelt of the animal they wanted to transform into. The Navajo called them Yi Nald Lushi, which roughly translates to he who walks on all fours.
In wolf form, skinwalkers are super strong, very fast, almost impossible to kill. Folklore has it that the only thing that can kill them is a bullet or a knife that's been dipped in white ash. It's said that the only way to become a skinwalker is to kill a member of your own family.
When you put all of these qualities together, the transformation into animals, people becoming like wolves, some people believe that this is a clear connection to the long-standing historical belief in werewolves.
By the late 19th century, many Utes have come to believe that the skinwalkers are powerful dark magic, and so many abandoned the Uinta Basin and refused to go back there. Over time, that land is parceled and sold. In the 1990s, a couple acquire a 512-acre parcel of land.
Almost immediately, they begin having strangeness happen around the house, which gets worse until they start to notice wolves on the land that are 3 times larger than any wolves that they've ever seen or they can find in text.
According to the legend, these are skinwalkers. And some say that these are skinwalkers specifically sent by the Navajo to clear out this land.
Skinwalker sightings aren't limited to the supposed cursed territory in Utah. One Native American family in Arizona reports terrifying forces on their land.
As the family tells this story, they're seeing what looks sort of like these long shadows that are circling around their house.
The family hears noise coming from the son's bedroom. They open the door and see the son being attacked by some kind of creature, which they describe as walking on 2 legs, but with eyes that burn like fire.
In this family's belief tradition, they describe this as a skinwalker. But with the details provided, this could easily be the story of a werewolf.
When European settlers brought their werewolf legends to the Americas, they could have heard Native American stories of the skinwalkers. After all, both are tales of shape-shifting malevolent beings. That's why some experts believe that the skinwalker may have been a significant influence on popular werewolf mythology.
So it's easy on one level to imagine how werewolf legends would take root in a past time before large technology, education, research about viruses. But you also have werewolf stories that are contemporary. In Wisconsin, there's this sort of America's Beast of Gevaudan is known as the Beast of Bray Road.
This is a hybrid of a dog man who's seen consistently in the wilderness, often at dusk, often doing exactly what we hear of werewolves and skinwalkers do, menacing people, approaching their houses, looking in the windows, threatening their well-being.
This becomes sort of a part of the community identity. The local brewery has a beer named after the beast. It's on T-shirts.
At least for the Beast of Bray Road, the one thing it hasn't done is kill anyone. At least, not yet.